husband.
Good morning. Happy Sunday, March 1st, 2026. Hello, everybody. I'm going to give people time to come in.
Denise.
Give some people time to come in. Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well. My name is Patience. I'm your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms, a podcast where we put all of our metaphysical knowledge that we have been, what do I want to say? That I've been gifted from my spirit team. We put all of that on Spirit News. If you like more episode-based podcast style metaphysical knowledge and information about the new earth energies and your ascension process, you can go over there through the link tree in the bio. We have all of our socials there. We'd absolutely love to have you. We use this platform for spiritual and psychic development with our spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle. Mish, Mirabelle, and Mantis. Everyone has a spirit team. Everyone has guides, and they're never not there. You just have to be receptive to them. So we're documenting our whole journey for you guys, not for you to do it like us, but for you to see how it's being done and that it is being done and that you're not alone. And we come on every weekend for you guys, every single weekend, standing in our spiritual authority and dedicating our precious time and energy to ascending, to learning how to read energy, to learning how the way spirit speaks, because spirit does not speak in words. Spirit speaks in vocabulary, but not, a voice. So you have to learn symbology. You have to broaden your reference library so they can have more ways to speak to you. The more limited your idea of how to speak to them, then the less you'll receive because of your own limitations. So we're very excited to be here. We do have a dark topic today, or not a dark topic, but a dark person. So I've invited him into my energy field with Archangel Michael. Supposedly he's, out of here, but oh, no problem, Bravo. What hurts me is that boys are getting ignored in school. I support girls a lot, but the boys are just getting left behind in such a sad way. No problem. Glad you popped in unexpectedly. So make sure you're hitting that like button so people can find us. If you like what we do, we post every weekend. We post every Saturday, Sunday at 6 a.m. and a little sprinkled in the beginning of the week if I should answer the call. We're doing Luc Brunel today. If you don't know who that is, this is part of the Epi Files. And so he is part of that whole dynamic. Not the best energy, I will admit. So if you have any sensitivities or any triggers and you have some type of feelings upon this topic, then I suggest you take a rest on this one, okay? Because I don't know what's going to come out, and this person's not a good person, or he wasn't when he was here. And he ready to sing, though. He's ready to sing like a canary, okay? He gon' sing today. What's the guts here? I don't know what that means. I don't know, but good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. I am so grateful for all the love and support. It's been a very amazing journey, and I'm happy to be here with you. I'm so happy that we're all awakening at this time, and we could be here for each other. And when you think you're alone, you are not, okay? All right, good grief, it's still dark. I know, I'm a little early. I'm a little early. But I gotta come on for ya. Okay, so Luc Brunel. So a strange thing happened. Well, first let me tell you who he is. I'm sorry. Let me not get ahead of myself. So, It doesn't even have when he was born, only the year 1946. That's how much we don't care. But he died February 19th, 2022, supposedly.
Black eyes.
In prison. Oh, Spirit just said black eyes. He died in prison in Prison de la Santé.
I had an
Paris. He was Jean-Luc. Oh my gosh, is this his whole name? Listen to this. Jean-Luc Didier Henry René Brunel was a French model scout and alleged sex trafficker. He gained prominence by leading the international modeling agency Karen Models and founded MC2 Model Management with financing by Jeffy Eppy. You know that guy? It's my light, buddy. What up, gang? Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. We got a heavy topic, so make sure if you're going through something or you're easily triggered, you might want to sit this one out. But otherwise, we're going to see what he says. So he was going to, let me see, where was that? He was, what the hell? Where did it go? It says that he unalived himself in prison, but that's what they said about Jeffrey Epstein. So I don't know. I don't pretend to know, but he was found unalived in his Paris prison cell February 22nd in February 2022, and he was negotiating to provide prosecutors with evidence against Epstein in 2016. He was going to provide them with evidence because he worked so closely with Jeffy Eppy. How close was Jeffrey Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel? I'm going to AI that shit. Inadequate. Shared a long-standing, multi-layered relationship characterized by deep personal friendship, financial partnership, and alleged criminal collaboration. Epstein was a key financial patron for Brunel, providing the backing to launch his U.S.-based modeling agency, MC2 Model Management, which they supposedly used that to traffic the young ladies and other humans. If the most evolved version of your soul was guiding you right now, what would it tell you to release and what would it tell you to step into? Oh, those are very good questions. I don't know if I can answer that now because I'm about to go down a dark alleyway with Spirit. Robin! Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. The ring light emits light at a hazardous frequency. Well, that just shows you the chances I'm willing to take just for you guys, just to bring down corruption at a spiritual level, okay? Social and travel ties. Brunel was a frequent companion who took at least 24 flights on Epstein's private jet between 2000 and 2005 to destinations like the Bahamas, the Virgin Islands. Flight manifests eventually listed him by his initials JLB, alongside regulars like Ghislaine. Why does it sound like Ghislaine? I'm sorry, that's very rude of me. I'm sorry. Victims and investigators alleged that Brunel used his position as a modeling scout to procure or farm out young women, some as young as 12. It's them. He said it's them. It's them. That's what he said. For Epstein's abuse. Epstein reportedly bragged to accuser Virginia Giuffre that he had slept with more than 1,000 of Brunel's girls. Disgusting. The two were described as good friends and confidants. Even after Epstein's 2008 conviction, Brunel visited him in jail and continued living in an Epstein-owned apartment in Manhattan for years. The relationship soured by 2015 when Brunel sued Epstein, claiming his business had been emotionally destroyed by the association. However, newly released Justice Department files show Brunel was secretly negotiating for immunity in 2016 in exchange for testifying against Epstein. Brunel died by schmuicide in a French prison in February 2022 while awaiting trial on charges of rape and trafficking. Good morning, everybody. I will drop a like for your playful sense of humor. Oh, thank you so much. I'm kidding about the ring light. Just wanted to see your response. Oh, well, thank you. Glad I passed your test.
Marie.
All right. So I did draw one card for the Stare Juniors. Oh yeah, just so you guys know, I see a lot of new people in here. Drake. Hey, Drake. I had a Drake was in my dream again this morning, and Drake, I know you're not Drake, but I'm just saying Drake is always coming up in my dreams, and it's so annoying. Of course he ain't. They covered his death up. Well, we'll see. So I got this card out of my junior stare cards. We have a lot of new people here in here. We don't use tarot. We use game cards. Yes, they did. Omega. He's not dead. This is the first card I got. So I feel like those are the girls, you know. He's oh yeah. And
Listen upstairs.
okay, thank you so much, Spirit. And I got a Drake song. I woke up with this in my head after my Drake dream, and then Drake in the chat. I know that's not Drake, different Drake, but that's 3. So I just want to. This is the song that was in my head. It was "Take a Shot for Me." I can see it in your eyes. You're angry, regret, got shit on what you're feeling now. Mad 'cause he ain't like me. Oh, you mad 'cause nobody ever did it like me. All the care I would take, all the love that we made. Now you're trying to find somebody to replace what I gave to you. It's a shame you didn't keep it. Aisha Katia. I know that you're gonna hear this. I'm the man. Yeah, I said it. Bitch, I'm the man. Don't you forget it. You walk. The way you walk, that's me. The way you talk, that's me. The way you got your hair up, did you forget that's me? And the voice in the speaker right now, that's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. Look, I know I like this song, but in this context, it kind of feels like I make you, you know, I tell you what to wear. I tell you what jobs to go to. I tell you this and that and the other thing. You know, it's very very controlling, very like this person knows that you only go through me, like the extreme gatekeeper of women and men's careers, you know, like taking that as some kind of like entitlement or really living in that energy, you know, like you're not gonna make it unless I say, do what I say if you want to stay here, you know, just using his position to dictate and control and dominate these girls who are sometimes as young as 12, you know, flying them overseas so they're isolated, promising them, you know, illusions of grandeur, but in tumultuous seas that's always constantly unknown and dangerous, you know, dangerous territory. Gifting them and then taking it away, you know, promises of, you know, specific things like I see a pencil here and food and, you know, just this promising that this will be the gateway for other things, you know, just there's somebody who really used his position to, and the sun, look at the way he's smiling. It's like, I am the sun. I am the sun. You can't grow unless I say, do what I say if you want to have a future, that type of thing. But he's in France, so there's something about overseas, if maybe getting multiple girls and people. I don't want to just say girls because it wasn't just girls. Getting them overseas, isolated. Notice how every animal is alone on a specific idea. Getting them alone, isolated, making sure like their family didn't come along, things like that. Make sure you're hitting that like button, guys, so people find us. It helps the channel out a lot. Thank you so much. But I also have a bird I have a bird right here. 3 birds actually. Yeah. Promising education, promising a future in sports, and it'll be fun, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And look, oh, there's a spider on the soccer ball. There's a little spider. Yeah, but it comes with conditions. But they don't know that at first, It kind of reminds me of the Pied Piper. Nah, she bullshitting some weird shit. This is what I used to do in class when I was bored. Spirits and skinwalkers around. Yeah, for real. Yeah, so definitely a Pied Piper leading people to tragedy, leading people with false promises, okay? Across the seas without their parents, without their, talking their parents into how good of an opportunity it will be. Okay? The Pied Piper saved the town. LOL! Good morning. Glad you're here. Let me see.
I was an earl.
What is the dark side of the Pied Piper? The grim truth behind the Pied Piper. The tale of a cold-blooded retribution where a scorned magical figure retaliates against the town for non-payment by using entrancing music to abduct 130 children, leading them into a cave or river to their deaths. So make sure you're doing your research first before you say what you want to say, okay? Because I can Google it. Pied Piper. So that's what it's giving me, Pied Piper vibes. He may have wanted to sing like a canary on Epstein because he wasn't getting paid, or he wasn't, I don't know, something, he was out for retribution or vengeance for some kind of fallout between him and Epstein. But then I don't know if the fallout happened before and then he used it as a way to bring evidence against him, or I don't know. I'm not sure of the order of it, but it acts as a metaphor for a memory or a forgotten tragedy such as localized plague, the Children's Crusade, or mass immigration. Yeah, abducting 130 children. So I don't know what he did. There's not a lot of information on him for the amount of effort he put in towards, negative things. Oh, thank you, Robin. Dead children there in bloody sacks, fire pit, and burying them.
I like to play games.
Sorry, I'm trying to read all the comments as best I can. I won't be able to read all of them. Yes, the town didn't pay him when he got rid of the rate. Okay, so, all right, Luc Brunel, tell me more. I see aggression, I see sex drive, I see conflict, I see action, I see religion. Make the best out of every situation. The best out of every situation. So let me see. I see. Well, there's an island, right? There's an island. He's on an island. There's sharks in the water. There's sharks on the water. Make the best of every situation. And the clock is, there's a clock here. There's a snake in the palm tree. Make the best out of every situation. There's crocodiles in the ocean. Crocodiles and sharks. Interesting. He might be, I don't know if he's truly dead, but they said he's dead, so therefore I'm going to go based on that. But from what I'm getting, he could possibly be in some kind of witness protection, and they could be, but he's alone. He has no friends, he has no riches, he has nothing, but he's trying to make the best of it. But there's sharks and crocodiles surrounding him. Or another way you could look at it is, you know, he was aware of what was going on the island, but he chose to participate anyway, making the best out of it. You know, kind of like, well, I don't understand it, but, you know, if it gets me what I want in the end, I'll make the best of it. You know, that kind of attitude. Like, not agreeing with what's going on, but turning a blind eye is another way you could look at it. But I am kind of getting that he could be in witness protection, but they say he's dead, so we're going to read his energy. Oh, shoot. Look at this at the top of the deck. Yep. Yep. Yes. Yep. Black and white, animals, fraternal order. Got the tuxedo. There's definitely some kind of order. Okay. He's saying that there is some kind of, and I said religion a second ago. So walk forward. Thank you so much. So he is saying that there is some kind of order here, some kind of I don't want to say fraternal, a secret society. Okay. What else? I see assessment. I see teamwork, cooperation. So what happened? What do you want us to know? What should I do? Should I do... maybe I'll do Trivial Pursuit. Or I could do the Bible. Let me do Trivial Pursuit. Okay, I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to do 4. Oh, thank you, Robin. Lilo and Stitch. So cute, right? Believe in yourself. Oh, believe in your inner alien, it says. Okay, 4. Let me see. We'll do green first. How many of every 5 child safety seats are used incorrectly?
The children are playing.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. 4. How many of every child safety seats are used incorrectly? Children being used incorrectly. It could be at the highest levels of national Highway Traffic Safety Administration, of National Administration. Children being used incorrectly. Okay. Alrighty, thank you. And that's under...
I've seen scary things.
I've seen scary things, he says. Tell me more, please. Let's do Brown. What studio whiz chronicles 20th century pop music in an autobiography titled Q? QAnon? Quincy Jones, the music industry. Yep. He had evidence on the music industry, on national administrations. What else? He was going to sing like a canary. He is singing like a canary. Brown. What was the first word in the title? Oh, I already did brown. Let me do orange. What former LA Lakers home? Oh, he may have changed. He may have made a mistake. He may have accidentally said the wrong thing or something. Just like I did just then. What former LA Lakers home began hosting services of the Faithful Central Bible Church and the churches? It's in the churches, it's in the music, it's in the national administrations. What else? Green. What family of fruits was shown in 2001 to be mutants or hybrids of just 3 species? The citron, the mandarin, and the pomelo. Citrus fruits.
Eleanor.
In the food. Mutants, it's in the food. This secret society is in everything. The secret society is in everything, and he was about to sing and tell and bring evidence forward. What was this evidence you were going to bring forward? What was this evidence you were going to bring forward? Let me do, I'll do Imagine Ifs. Oh, thank you. One. Mayhem. There could be a lot of mayhem going on right now. Imagine if John Brunel were a famous author. Stephen King.
My life was short.
Wait, the Fertility Network group is international. The church. Yeah. I think my life was short. I think he's saying how much this secret society has its hands in everything, like an octopus. The church, the food, national administrations, just in everything. In food. Did I say food? Food, music, and music. Stephen King. Something dark. Stephen King writes a lot of like horror, suspense. Imagine if Jean-Luc had to grant government approval for a major city project, a skyscraper. Some evidence about a skyscraper. He could have had written documents, or he could have had enough information to fill a book, or scary information about what happens in a specific building or skyscraper, or what happened to a skyscraper. Something about a major project that was granted approval by the government.
You want proof.
You want proof, he says. You want proof? Imagine if Jean-Luc were a weapon. What would he be? An atom bomb. I cannot make it up. I can't make it up. He had information that would have been like a bomb, that would have brought all of these branches, everything they have their hands in, would have brought it down. All of the things they done. He had some kind of proof or evidence. Spirit just said, you want proof? It definitely would be an atom bomb. That's why they could have... He's either in witness protection.
Don't fear us. Yes.
He's either in witness protection or he's gone. Almost sounds like 9/11. Yeah, possibly. Imagine if they could have dinner with an Olympic champion. Who would they choose? Brian Boitano? I don't know who that is.
There's a man watching.
There's a man watching. Maybe someone named Brian? Let me see. Brian Boitano. Brian Boitano? Is an American figure skater, 1988 champion. 1988 champion. Have dinner with Olympic champion.
I guard this land.
Let me see if there's someone named Brian in the Epi files. Let me see. Brian. I think it would be best for all that Brian is released Friday, tired of the games. Tired of the games. And I think it would be best for all that Brian is released Friday, tired of the games. From Jeffrey. But it's redacted who it's to. Brian Boyd. Hello, Brian. Just circling back regarding dinner with Jeffrey on April 15th in Cambridge. Might you be available? A restaurant is yet to be determined, but I want your timing. Okay, I'm just seeing if anything obvious pops out about someone named Brian. Let me go to the bottom. Seawall project. What's this? Pillings plus plans on being on site Monday. If you check online at Palm Beach Tide Chart, you'll see that low tide is around 8:30 a.m. They plan on being there. Please notify me if any changes. Seawall project. Seawall project. Let me see what a seawall project. Seawall project. Focused on enhancing coastal resilience against rising sea levels and intense storm surges? The heck? With major initiatives underway in Miami Beach, these projects, often involving concrete, steel, or stone, are increasingly incorporating environmental considerations like living seawalls to mitigate erosion, protect infrastructure, and address long-term climate change. Why would he care about the sea? Oh, maybe he was funding it. Oh, maybe some politicians in his pocket saying, can you fund the seawall in Miami? Turning a blind eye to maybe things coming in overseas. Darkness. If you politician of Miami turned a blind eye to what we bring in overseas, I'll donate money to help you build the seawall. Oh yeah. And perhaps, because Spirit's been saying concrete a lot, so it could have to do with some kind of maybe building tunnels, maybe hiding something in the concrete. I don't know. Something like that. What is this a reference to? Let me do another imagine if 6. What are you referring to? Imagine John Luke were a bad habit. 6. Constantly looking in the mirror. Constantly looking in the mirror. Huh. Constantly looking in the mirror. Let me do one more. Imagine they were a writing implement. What would they be? 5. A crayon. Something about children, for sure. Constantly looking in the mirror. I'm not sure what
Yes, it's me.
Yes, it's me. Okay. I don't know. Are you talking about yourself? You're just saying that you're very vain? I don't know. Something about the mirror. Mirror magic? I don't know. Maybe they use people, you know that they have dark psychics that do scrying and dumb shit like that. So they could possibly use divination, something like that. Tell me more about this mirror. What are you talking about? Who is she? Just listen to and put her pieces from spirit together. Of course, there. Everything you don't think is going on, dear, is exactly what's going on. The real Drake? There's so many Drakes in here. The world's greatest engineer can't even completely stop water. Water eventually
I'll throw
wins.
something.
Look at this at the top of the deck. This is kind of weird. This kind of looks like Jean-Luc Brunel, the investigator. There could be something about him being asked to go in and gather more intel, to be friends with him, to put him under investigation. I have see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Didn't I say he turned a blind eye to what was going on? And this kind of looks like a wizard in the tree.
Amanda.
Like a wizard. And there's some kind of parrot with a sombrero. Honey traps. Yeah, luring children in with, promises of a better life. These could represent parents. Something about looking closer at something. These could also be government officials asking Brunel to get a closer look, or to behind Epstein's back to get a closer look at what they were doing. Okay. All right. What else? Someone with an amateurish and superficial interest in a topic. A dilettante. Dilettante. Someone with an amateurish and superficial interest in a topic. Jeffrey's friends were such dilettantes. They seemed to have new jobs and hobbies every week. Amateur, dabbler, superficial. That's the modeling agency. It was not an actual modeling agency where you could go and have a career. It was superficial. It was just topical. It was just a guise. It was not a place where girls go to get their dreams come true, okay? Surely, rude and bad-tempered. When asked to clean the windshield, the surly gas station attendant tossed a dirty rag at the customer and walked away. Gruff, grumpy, testy. Rude and bad-tempered. Not a good person. Not somebody that's a pleasure to be around. These girls are these people who go to the modeling agency across seas, overseas, do not get a special treatment. To calm or make less severe. Mollify. They might, that's so funny. Yeah, there's something, Spirit said ecstasy when we first started, and this says mollify, like Molly. to appease, to pacify. Their argument was so intense that it was difficult to believe any compromise would mollify them. Yeah, definitely admitting to drugging, you know, giving these people substances to pacify them. Libertine. A free thinker, usually used disparagingly. One without moral restraint. A hedonist. The libertine took pleasure in gambling away his family's money. Hedonist. Yeah, that's Jean-Luc Brunel. Just somebody who's thinks with their penis and allows their hedonistic
Wilson.
They live by pleasure, you know, anything that brings them pleasure physically. Unequivocal, yeah. Absolute, certain. The jury's verdict was unequivocal. The organized crime boss would be locked up for life. Categorical, clear, explicit, express, unambiguous. Yeah, this person did not hide who they were. And they took great pride in acting the way they did. Like they had all the power, like they could do whatever they wanted. And they were living this hedonistic life on the backs of these girls or people who were promised illusions of grandeur, promised, you know, great lives of modeling careers. That's not what they got. What did they get? Burnish. To polish. He burnished the silver coffee pot until it shone brightly. Buff, luster, polish, scour. Yeah, there's something about him enjoying telling women how to look, you know, like you're a little fat here, you're a little fat there, you should go get a boob job, you should do this, if you want more work you should do that. You know, that's what it kind of feels like getting some kind of enjoyment out of dictating, you know. It reminds me of the song, Drake's song. And I'm not saying Drake wrote it in this way. I'm just saying this is the message I'm getting from the song in this moment. The way you walk, that's me. The way you talk, that's me. The way you got your hair up, did you forget that's me? So kind of like if any girls or any models give him any pushback, he gives them a hard time. You know, who do you think you are? I'm the one who brought you here. I'm the one who chose you. I'm the one who can take it away. You know, just being a dick like that, you know? Just being a jerk like that. There's a lot of evil in this world, baby girl. Make it clap for me. Those billionaires are living their best life. I'm just going to go camping and canoeing, maybe feed some deer. The vampires stay near money, so I'm staying broke. That's a good observation. If you ain't rich, you must help others. If you are rich. Okay, so that's him. That's the energy he's in. This isn't a good guy. This guy definitely, him and Epstein were best friends for a reason. Like attracts like. So I want to know why he was willing to bring evidence forward. Like, what was that? What did that look like? Can you tell me that? Why did you want to go against Jeffrey? Miss Led was strolling past the Soul Ace Hotel. Hardy Pyle saw her through the window and rushed out to say hello. That kind of reminds me of the mirror. He called out, and when Miss Led turned around and waved, Hardy was 400 meters behind and walking in her direction. They each walked 200 meters in a direct line, their faces toward each other. After their 200-meter walk, they were still 400 meters apart. How could this be? Their faces were pointing toward each other, and they were going in a direct line. However, when Miss Led saw Hardy, she walked backwards for 200 meters.
Are you recording?
Huh. The Soul Ace Hotel. The Soul Ace Hotel. Rushed out to say
How are
hello.
you?
How are you? Hardy pile. I don't know. Can you please? I'm not understanding the reference here. I want to say something about divination, but I'm not sure if that's either that or changing his mind about something, or, they were walking in the same direction at one point, but then he took 200 meters back or something like that. Can you please clarify? I don't understand the reference. What are you saying with this? Because I see they used to face each other. Blood. Frustration. And Spirit just said blood. Trying to fit I was talking about this yesterday, trying to fit a peg hole through a circle, a square through a circle. Fear. Jeffrey did something that made him fear him. Something with blood. What was this? What made you fear him and distrust him? Something that he didn't have full knowledge of. Something that
I was so sick.
something that made him unconfident about what they were doing. I was so sick. It kind of reminds me of this card, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Being aware of something but not really. And this person has a red shirt on, which kind of reminds me of blood. He might not have been totally aware or on board with the blood rituals. Sid Shady asked his wife to accompany him. I'm not saying he's a good guy. He definitely took advantage of young children, okay, like physically and sexually, confirmation. But according to this, there may have been something that scared him that he saw that created the rift between them two. Sid Shady asked his wife to accompany him to a war movie being featured that night. During a scene when grenades were exploding and guns were firing, Shady decided the time is right. He pulled out a gun and shot his wife. He then took her out of the theater without anyone trying to stop him. Why not? Shady shot his wife at a drive-in theater. Yeah, because he saw Jeffrey do something that was not the best. Or he saw somebody do something that scared him. It put him in fear. It put him in fear.
You're
And
still here.
because I'm not saying that Jean-Luc Brunel was a good guy, but these guys might be at different levels of depravity, and some of them, just like in Hollywood, we do readings where sometimes these elites will think someone is trustworthy and they'll bring them into that part of the secret society where they're doing the blood rituals and stuff, and they'll attempt to bring that person in so they have another source of energy. But if that person has an adverse reaction to it, it can have the opposite effect. And so that could be what this is about, this island thing. It says make the best out of every situation. So he's going to the island multiple times, and then there could have been a particular time closer to the end where he saw Jeffrey do something that he hasn't seen him do before, that has to do with blood. You know what I'm saying? And then he's already there. He's on the island. He has nowhere to go. So he's like, I'm going to make the best out of the situation. But it put him in fear. So what did you do after that? What were you thinking? What was happening in your mind? What did you want to do? Isolation. Yeah, he wanted to separate from Jeffrey because
They
he's
buried me here.
like, death. And Spirit just said they buried me here because he knew that since he knew he was brought into that part of it, now he has to pretend that he's down with that because he knows the consequences of not being down now that he's been brought into this part is death. Ghost, I cannot make it up. I can't make it up. Damn. Yeah, what do you do? What do you do? You have to pretend. So he pretended to, that must be what the investigation up behind his back is. He's like, this is too far for me. This is going too far for me. I might grape children and I'm a an actual predator, but I'm not doing these blood sacrifices. That's too far for me. Wow. Professor Quantum was in the far north gathering evidence on climatic changes caused by the greenhouse effect. I told you. Quantum relayed his findings to the nearest base by shortwave radio. During one radio conversation, Quantum reported the temperature as minus 40 degrees.
Keep the camera on.
Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit? Responded the radio man. I couldn't care less which way you record it. Oh, he just said keep the camera on, and this says I couldn't care less which way you record it, replied Quantum. Why would Professor Quantum have such a cavalier attitude to scientific data? At minus 40 degrees, and only at minus 40 degrees, the temperature of Celsius and Fahrenheit are the same. Exposed. So he could have on-camera evidence of this particular thing he witnessed. And he was gathering evidence to bring forward for the investigation in 2016. But then he went to prison. So I don't know if he's actually dead or if he's in it says ghost and death. So what happened? Did they must have got wind that he had evidence or he was going to talk. What happened with that? I'm going to look in the Odyssey. Okay. Tell me more, Spirit. So there's something about him gathering evidence, perhaps video evidence, but also having to pretend like he still wanted to be a part of this secret society. Power. But he has to make the best of it because whatever they're doing, he's completely in fear by it. It's something that, what is it that they're doing?
1730.
Let's see. The Grace of the Witch. The Grace of the Witch. Right here, look. The Grace of the Witch. I turned to her at once. I turned to order up your peace, eagles for all leaders. I love our beautiful world, not the evil peeps falling
I
into
remember
our
my
school.
funeral.
I remember my funeral. I turned to her at once and said, where is the captain and who could bear to touch this banquet in my place? Banquet? Oh, that's so funny because, oh my gosh, come through Spirit. Oh, let me see. Because, thank you, Spirit. Because I made an AI thumbnail and I chose this picture that they have of Brunel with the girl standing behind him. And I put it through the AI and look at this. So it added this person. So I put I put devil horns. I put devil horns on him and then halos on all the girls. And when I made the AI thumbnail, it added this person who's all in black, who doesn't have the thumbnail. I mean, a halo. And it looks like a buffet line or a table with a bunch of food on it. And then on this side, it added another girl to the lineup with a halo right here. So that's interesting that this says banquet, because we know what they were doing at these parties. And there are pictures of turkeys on the table and other food-like things, if you know what I'm saying. So it could have been eating, you know, okay, that could have been the thing where he draws the line there. He might be a predator, but he draws the line at that. Where is the captain, and who could bear to touch this banquet? A decent man would see his company before him first. Put heart in me to eat and drink. You may, by freeing my companions, I must see them. But Kirk, oh, this says Kirk, had already turned away. Her long staff in her hand, she left the hall and opened up the sty. I saw her enter, driving those men turned swine to stand before me. She stroked them in each turn with some new trism. And then behold, their bristles fell away. The coarse pelt grown upon them by her drug melted away, and they were men again. I think he saw these interdimensionals within these people during a ritual. And I think it scared the shit out of him, because it says right here, a transformation. An exquisite goddess looked as they stood near me, saying, Son of Laertes, and the gods of old, Odysseus, master mariner and soldier, go to the sea, beach, and sea-breasting ship, drag it ashore, full length upon the land, stow gear and stores in rock holes, under cover, return, be quick, bring all your dear companions. I died, he said. Yeah, there could be something about tunnels in Miami where he went to some kind of banquet, where there was some kind of ritual for a goddess or a god, and it turned men into swine right before him, and there was drugs involved. He saw them transform. The room rang with sobbing. Wild regret and longing pierced his eyes upon looking at the younger as they melted away.
Associate.
And a coarse pelt grew upon the men.
Sleep.
Yeah, what he's saying is he got invited to a blood ritual, okay? Possibly on a beach or in an underground tunnel or something by a beach in Miami, possibly. And he witnessed a ritual, and he saw men turn into swine at a banquet. And that's what scared the shit out of him, because he saw them transform. And that was too far for him. That was something that he was not into. Are you mistrustful of my bread and drink? Why sit at my table, mute Odysseus? Are you mistrustful of my bread and drink? Can it be treachery that you fear again after the god's great oath I swore for you? Boom. Yeah, he was sworn in to take an oath of secrecy. Hear no evil, see no evil, to lure in children for a ritual. And he saw it. And he saw what they do in this ritual. because his friend thought that that's what he would be okay with that. That he would want to be sworn in and to this secret society where they do these things. Smuggy Smuggerson, she can't stop. She is possessed.
Legion.
Legion. Spirit said Legion. Something with a witch.
Get scared.
Something with a witch. So he had some kind of evidence of that. Or that was like the turning point for him.
8.
There was a series of tunnels underwater in Miami where a bank was robbed by digging into vault from tunnels where rituals happen. Oh, no way. Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying there could be 8 tunnels specifically associated with Miami where... Tell me about these tunnels or this thing you witnessed. Yeah, I think that's what this is depicting. Luring in children for this ritual and being a part of this thing and witnessing this thing is the thing that kind of, it was too much for him. Shania Twain. Canadian country singer and songwriter Shania means I'm on my way in Ojibwa. Ojibwa. What's Ojibwa? Let me see. Ojibwa? One of the largest indigenous groups in North America. Shania. With a great population spread across the Great Lakes region. These tunnels might go to... oh, this is Grand Medicine Society. These tunnels might go to the Great Lakes all throughout U.S., Canada, known to be what the rich use in their culture for harvesting. Wow. And hunting. For harvesting and hunting. Thank you. So what about this ritual? What did you see? Jupiter. Jupiter. Healthy. Story problem. If 1 year on Jupiter equals 11 Earth years and 1 day equals 9 Earth hours, how many Earth hours are there in a Jupiter year? Jupiter.
Wrong area.
Wrong area. Story problem. If 1 year on Jupiter something about a specific time. Something about a specific time that's like the best, most robust time to perform the rituals. Something about Jupiter. Let me see. What is the occult relevance of Jupiter? Jupiter is known as the great benefactor, representing expansion, prosperity, higher knowledge. Yeah, there's something about Cain. There's something about them worshiping during a specific time to do the ritual for the most robust, most prosperous, like, time. But I don't... Let me see. Jupiter brings expansion to all areas of life, increasing resources, opportunities, unlike the restrictive, lesser benefic Saturn. Light of 1,000 suns. I'm on my way. Baked potatoes in reverse. Hot potato, couch potato, potato head, twice baked, half baked. In reverse. Huh. So these tunnels lead to multiple, like an underground highway for the elite to go to specific locations on specific times
Bones.
to perform these fertility rituals. And he may have been invited to some for a year's length. He had to pretend like he wanted to be a part of it so he could gather information for the investigation. He may in this time have gathered some kind of video evidence that's trashy and that people would find far-fetched. But he has a lot of evidence. He had to be very graceful because he was doing it behind Jeffrey's back. So he had to be very careful. Isn't there some crazy rare planetary alignment tonight? Is there? Oh shit. Let me see. Pit Trivial Pursuit to connect with Spirit today. I'm doing well with these recent world events. Anxiety through the roof. Well, just remember they put very specific events on the news to elicit emotional reactions out of you because they feed off of fear. So just remember, every time you watch the news, it's a energy harvester. So be careful what you're consuming at this time.
100 years ago.
100. Clueless. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he was doing it behind Jeffrey's back. He was clueless because he was pretending that he wanted to be a part of the rituals. That was part of the thing he was doing because they do fertility rituals at specific hours, at specific times that align with specific celestial alignments for underground. Something I got far-fetched right under far-fetched again. Yeah, something that is so like if everybody knew what they were doing, it might make a lot of people go into cognitive dissonance. Get your kicks on Route 66. Something about Route 66. Nelson Riddle. Tom Riddle. Wasn't Tom from Harry Potter, wasn't his last name Riddle? Voldemort. Voldemort's real name was Tom Riddle. This says Nelson Riddle. Okay. Choice. Tell me about choice. What about it? Let's look in Kingdom of the Cults. Spirit, tell us more. What about it? In an attempt to validate and justify his claims to the highest authority, he had to make a significant weight of the claims because they're so far-fetched. He had to make a good deal of evidence to be brought forward because the things that they were doing needed to be worthwhile the things that they're not, talking about in the emails. He had to present characters that were involved, that could have been in the music industry, that could have been in national administrations, like politicians. So he's basically undercover because he wants immunity, because what they're doing, he doesn't want to be part of it. He is a predator, and he does, he's a very hedonistic person
I'm attached.
who was in their ego when it comes to these models, and he definitely wasn't the best for that. But he is saying, I'm not down with the rituals. I don't want to do the blood rituals. Okay, so that's what he's saying. So he went to the authorities, and they're like, well, we need concrete evidence. We need you to bring us evidence that's worthwhile. So he has to pretend to go, excuse me, my throat shakalaka. So he has to toss TV out years back. Best move I've made. Yeah, me too. So he has to, the authorities are saying, we need you to bring forward evidence that's worth our while. What can you do for us? For a pardon, because he wants to get a lesser sentence for trafficking humans. Okay, because he was trafficking humans. Okay, so there's something about professors and universities, something about Egyptian hieroglyphs. We know from Cleopatra's reading that these bloodlines do ancient ritual, ceremonies that require very old ways of doing things. That's ridiculous. That's not even, you never needed that, but they want evidence of that. What are they doing underground? Where do the tunnels go? And so they're looking at him like a way to receive this type of information. Because they don't want to have any misapplications or misinterpretations. They want text and evidence that's thoroughly covered in this vast subject. But they thrive on confusion, and they're able to create doorways that create extreme reluctance to identify themselves. Yeah, because they do spells. If you watch, there's a whistleblower about a college, because I see college right here, about colleges and the Delta houses, and how they actually do magic. They do rituals, and there's something about and she admitted in the interview that they do forgetful spells on themselves, so that way if they're ever questioned or have to take a lie detector test, they literally will not remember the darker parts of the ritual. They might remember the surface level rituals, that are done as the guise of abundance, protection, wisdom, shit like that. But then late at night, at certain times, they're going underground or in a basement, and they're doing, the darker rituals. And that's when they'll put the forget spells on themselves, on each other, so they forget that part of it. And so there's something about they thrive on confusion. The elite people who are part of these rituals don't want themselves to be identified. And so there's something about him not being able to establish contact in that way, possibly being concealed because they're very careful, and he doesn't understand energy or the rituals themselves. Spirit said Mary. And so there's something about
I worked here.
forgetful spells being put on him, not being able to identify certain parts of the canvassing or the routes of the tunnels or the, it almost feels like, put a bag over your head and then we'll take you to this location. It kind of feels like that. So he doesn't really understand where he's being brought to, but all he knows is it's underground, and it converts with other tunnel systems that go to other places. And this is what the elites use for the perversions of scripture. But he can't pinpoint exactly where they take him. Something like that. Okay.
Listen out for me.
The Jesus of the cults. So he was once oh, they get my throat shakalaka. They get my throat shakalaka. Oh, Holy Divine Spirit, please remove the blockages from my throat. So, once an apostle and a disciple alike, he was confronted with a perversion that brought him a revelation of God. He realized that he might have been perverse in other ways, but in this way he did not want to extend his perversion to the teaching of the perversion of the Lord. The person who was indoctrinating him acted like Christ himself. Like he so I think he's talking about Jeffrey. He has some kind of God complex where he wants to perverse nature. He wants to identify the life giver, and we know that he wants to identify the formula of ascension,
Share my story.
so he can be in God mode. He's realizing that Jeffrey has a God complex, and he's trying to be a part of this phenomenon that he's witnessing, with some weird, perverse Christ complex, God complex. Okay. He realized that he's a problem, and that he's under some kind of obligation to identify as this counterfeit gospel. He has doubts, though, but he's expected to encounter the very same, or at least similar, errors of perversions that the gospel message and the ancestors of this religion did or do. But he's discouraged, but he has to appear as having more success in twisting the truth of what they're actually doing. He has to pretend like he likes it. Because if he wants to get pardoned from being a part of this group,
Equal.
he has to pretend like he's equal. Yeah, Spirit just said equal. But they pervert the gospel of Christ. They do the inverted gospel. Everything that Yeshua says to do, they do the opposite, because that's what their religion requires. It's inverted. Okay? Their craftsmanship of evil, and the devil right here, designed by a master craftsman of all evils, the devil. A counterfeit. It's not an oversimplification. He was naive. He thought that he could
Hiding in the dark.
hide from Satan. Wow. But he was the prime
Darkness is mine.
He was a prime architect of the major cult system. He gave careful consideration of biblical evidence, but could allow no other conclusion. Yeah, so he could have been somebody that didn't believe in this stuff until he was brought into this cult, and they they indoctrinated him through a ritual, and then it ended in some kind of banquet, blood banquet, and he saw people transform into something else, and it was some kind of weird animal transformation that scared the shit out of him. But once he was in, he was like, oh shit, I can't go back now. But he decided to see what he could do, and he went to the police saying, I could get, evidence if I can get, Canaanite practices, Sodom and Gomorrah, you guys. And so he was given a second chance to record what they were doing. So he would have references, because what they're doing is unbelievable. Yeah, it's time to be careful, he said. And so he realized he had to be careful, because what he was doing, if they found out that he was trying to get evidence on them, recorded evidence, it would be a death to him. And so he had to pretend to be part of it. Wow. Interesting. After revealing the existence of counterfeit Yeshua, he had to be able to show that they were counterfeit, that these apostles and disciples or workers transformed themselves in their appearance and demeanor, but in reality, they represent Satan. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely wild. So where's this evidence? Where's this evidence that you have? Can you tell us where this evidence is? I don't know how I'd get that. Tell us about this evidence you have. Buried alive, I see. Buried alive. It could be buried somewhere. He could have hid it. Some kind of evidence. Some kind of evidence he buried. Where's this evidence? Escape. I left when things got hard. He might have had some kind of backup plan where he hid evidence. If he were to die, the evidence is somewhere. Where's this evidence that you recorded? It could be on a beach. Some kind of cottage or beach house. Studio. I don't know if he has like a private studio or somewhere where he would go that's on a private beach. Something where it'd be like a private place for him to go, or something like that.
Ethel.
There's an umbrella, or I don't know. Something about children, where there's multiple children. Did he fall in securing the Did he fail in securing the pardon protection? Puss in Boots. Yeah, he was ready to point the finger. I think he did procure some kind of evidence, but it could there's evidence about the royals, about the monarchy, about children that he has procured that's hidden somewhere. Ooh, my throat shakalaka. Where is this evidence hidden? I don't think he did fail. I think he succeeded, but he failed at being able to... I don't know. He could possibly be in witness protection. Yeah, something about photography, taking pictures of animals with children at secret locations outside in the woods. Places they go to do rituals and within the woods. There's pictures of it. Yeah, it could be hidden by water. Someplace where you camp and And I'm getting a lot of water references. Footstep. I don't know how to get more details about the location. I thought that maybe the picture cards would give us something, but I don't know. He definitely has something. The Smithsonian Museum of Natural History has just opened an interactive exhibit. Interactive, it's on some kind of hard drive. Trick. Exhibit on tricks, on magic. Yeah, he has it. There's some kind of hard drive where they do some kind of ritual with children. Some kind of magic trick. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's having an emotional breakdown. Bone to be wild. Not doing my homework. What did I bring back from Mexico? Not knowing what a triangle is. It could be in Mexico. Maybe he hit something at Zorro Ranch or something with somebody. Oh, I don't know. I can't get it. I don't know. I'm trying to get details about that, but I'm just not. I don't know. Maybe it's just not time to reveal where it is yet. But there is some kind of evidence that he has that's interactive. It's like a hard disk or a...
Be very, very careful.
Be very careful, yeah. I just don't think Spirit wants us to divulge like a location yet, because there's something that's has to happen first before it comes out. It could be like the knowing that there is this information is making a lot of people who are involved break down and make mistakes, you know, things like that. Okay. Any last words, Spirit?
She scares me.
Any last words? So yeah, so he definitely has evidence. He was undercover for like a year, analytical, trying to break down very complex. God, I think he got the fear of God put in him when he saw this ritual. This ritual scared him. Oh, this isn't supposed to be in there. Bandits. Yeah, that the people that he was working with are sick people. They're sick people. And he was trying to be flexible because he has depravity of his own when it comes to living a hedonistic life. So he was willing to turn a blind eye, but by doing that, Jeffrey brought him in. I wasn't a believer. Jeffrey brought him into the ritual thinking that he would be all about it because he's already a depraved pervert, okay, who's willing to, traffic humans for him. And so Jeffrey thought he could bring him in and be part of the secret society where they amp it up a notch. But when he saw what they were doing and he saw these people transform, it made him decide right then and there, like, God does exist. If this exists, then God exists, and I don't want to be a part of it. Okay, so I'm not saying that he was a good person. I'm definitely not saying that, but he definitely had to go undercover. He wanted immunity. So he knew he was part of the trafficking part. He went to the authorities like, what can you do for me? I saw something horrible. And then the FBI's like, well, you need to get video evidence. We need something because it's too unbelievable what you're saying. What you're saying they're doing is too unbelievable, and we need evidence. We need where, when, why, how. And so he went undercover for like a year behind Jeffrey's back, playing both sides, trying to figure out where they get taken and what times, and he's saying it lines up with celestial alignments. They have rituals that are in the woods by a body of water, that are near underground tunnels, perhaps coming out of cave systems or near
Just
caves,
visiting. Not
and
haunting.
they put a bag over your head, or they do forgetful spells so you don't remember the location, and you just kind of show up there and then you're there, but you don't really know like the route or how to get there. But all these tunnel systems are for the
Leave me
elite.
alone.
They all go throughout, even up to Canada, supposedly, and underwater. So there's something about water, okay? He has some kind of interactive digital information that he hid in case something happened to him. So he has some kind of fall safe plan, but it seems like Spirit wants more pieces to fall into place before this gets found, because these people are afraid that it exists, and it does, but they need them to be at a certain level of, losing their minds, I guess. So they're messing up, and they're becoming less analytical, and they're making mistakes and having emotional breakdowns from the stress of knowing that this information's out there, and they don't know when, how, or when it's
This
going to
is
come
secret.
up. This is secret. So Spirit doesn't want me to reveal where that is, but it's out there, and it's going to come up when the time is right, because they need these people to be in a certain place, emotionally, I guess. Okay. Something else Spirit says I see: extracting DNA in order to find bloodlines. That's big, isn't it? It could be the island, because listen, they're not letting us see every bit of the island. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that this cult is part of a bloodline, and from the evidence and the reading the emails and stuff and doing the readings, they definitely want to find and acquire people who emit a specific type of frequency, because they're running out of food source. And so they need people who they need energy, is basically what they need. Okay. And so they're trying to manipulate the way they get it, because they're losing the way they get it. They're starting to, we're starting to find out what they do. And so they were going to farm the baby farm. They're going to have the baby farm, so they had an endless supply of baby energy. But, that didn't work out. So now they also have discovered some way to switch consciousness, or
Something.
to body jump with your consciousness. Something about clones, something about it kind of reminds me of what was that? George Harrison and Paul McCartney dying. Yeah, I might do George Harrison, because on his deathbed, he supposedly said the truth about how they cloned Paul McCartney, or they found a look-alike. And that was way back when. They say that Paul McCartney died in a car accident, and they recreated him. I don't know why they did it, or, I think they may have done that to other
Are you staying
celebrities.
here?
But there is something about body jumping, okay? And there's something about energy harvesting. There's something about needing energy to heal their bodies, because their bodies are disintegrating. They're starting to get like, I think it was from the eating the human flesh, the kuru. I think it's called kuru. Kuru? Yeah, from eating the prion disease, from being a cannibal. They're starting to exhibit things from that. So they were trying to figure out the ascension process so they could get to a state of healing because they want to heal themselves. But they want to skip the whole healing process of emotional healing. They just want to go right to the physical healing. But you can't skip the emotional part. There's no scientific formula for you to, jump all the way into being in God mode. It's a swampy, low vibrational living being on the planet with the rest of us, and it's disgusting. You're extraordinary, and anyone that comes in here with any crap, you better not. Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks, guys. No one but God can control the soul. That goes, yeah, exactly. So, but it's just like Benjamin Franklin reading. The one thing about all of these people that are in this cult is they all walk in masculine energy. They all operate in a very masculine Saturn energy where it's about control, dominance, chronomancy, controlling time. It's because it's the Titans. The Titans don't want to, the cycle has come for the Titans to go to sleep. The Titans come out, they run amok, they do their thing, and then as we get closer to the sun, they got to go back to sleep. And in that time, they fight to stay because they're afraid to face their shadows because they've already done so much horrible things. And so they try to prevent themselves from facing all the things they've done, and find shortcuts, spiritual shortcuts, in order to perpetuate the bloodline. But the bloodline, they're in their masculine energy, so they think the bloodline is physical. But the bloodline's not physical, it's energetic. And everyone has the energetic signature to be divine because you are divine, but it requires a little bit of, work on your part to sift through all the shadows and the darkness and to come to acceptance of things you can't change. But the things they do are so depraved because they're so in their masculine energy that they don't want to do that part, because it would be millennia of them going through karma for what the things they've done. So it's basically like pushing karma back as far as possible so they don't have to experience what they put people through. And because they know spiritual laws, they know that they're going to have to eventually at some point go through what they put people through, and it'll be millennia before they can have another incarnation where they can actually live a abundant life in the right way,
Follow us ahead.
All right, I gotta go, you guys. Thanks for being here. I close the session out. Goodbye. Thank you to Spirit. Thank you to you guys for being here. I'm so grateful for all the love and support. I'll see you throughout the week. Make sure that you're staying safe, you're drinking your water, taking care of your body, moving your energy, finding things to be grateful for. You have a strong, manly facial features. Well, thank you. It's because I'm a strong person. I love you so much. See you on the next one. Bye.